But I believe in coloring the world, gotta holler to be heard in time. We can fight back, ready to go right back to the sky, to the moon, making my skyline brand new. You, you get my heart in trouble.
Hi and welcome back to Lemon Tree Corner. I am Heather if you are new here, and I make handmade purses and bags, and we also do some crochet, adult coloring, and other fun crafts. So welcome, welcome. And if you're not new here, welcome back. It's great to have you. We have quite a few new subscribers, but we also have a lot of people who watch this channel every week who aren't subscribed. So if you are one of those people, I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button. It just tells YouTube algorithm that you're enjoying my content and you want to see more, and that puts me in front of other crafters like yourself who need a new channel to watch. So I really appreciate it. This week in the studio we are making these sweater bags. So this is a pattern that I pretty much made up myself when I started making larger projects. Right now we have our spring blanket in here. Eventually this will get too big for this, but I did do my first sweater project in here and it did fit just fine the whole time. I didn't store all of the skeins of yarn because it was like 13 skeins of yarn, but I did store the whole sweater as I was working on it and the skein I was working with. So this is really a nice big roomy bag that holds a lot. So sweater project, baby blanket, things like that. So we already have 3 of that size, 2 or 3 of that size made, ready to go, but we've got 4 more that we're gonna make for the yarn crawl. So I'm gonna have a pop-up shop at the Knitting Tree LA for the yarn crawl in May. And that's what we're doing right now. We're in a frenzy making all the bags for that show. It's a 4-day show, so I wanna make sure I have enough stuff to last us for the 4 days, and so everybody can see what I make. Try and establish that customer base, because these are the projects I really enjoy making and I would love to focus more on these projects. I think that's the direction we're going in for the rest of the year. She has another fair that she does in fall that I'm hopefully going to be participating in, because I have a lot of fall and winter fabrics that I haven't done anything with so far. So we're going to be making 4 of these sweater bags. First off, we have this gorgeous fabric with the kitty cats and the mushrooms, and it's magical. And we're going to pair that with the paws. I love this fabric. I've been looking for something to pair with this fabric for a long time. So we've got that, and we've also got some purple glitter vinyl that we're going to put. So that's going to be the bottom. I don't think it's going to be handles, I think it's just going to be the bottom, but super cute. And then we've got this beautiful, are they upside down? Yes they are. We've got this beautiful one with the moths, and then this has kind of crosses on it and it's metallic, so that's pretty. We've got more mushrooms. These are super whimsical, bright green and pink mushrooms that we're going to pair with this green fabric. So that's going to be pretty. And then we've got the final Harry Potter one. So it's a stained glass with different scenes from Harry Potter and Harry himself on the back. And we're going to pair that with this really cute polka dot. I think that goes really well with the colors that are in that fabric. So that's the plan for this week. I also picked up a new thing for the craft fair table. So when I was walking around and showing you all the different table setups from everybody else, one of the ladies had like a shoe rack kind of thing, but it was a little bit taller and she was able to fit her bags in between the racks. So I went ahead and bought a 3-rack thing on Amazon that looks pretty. I actually checked the measurement for once and it looks like it's tall enough for me to fit at least the sock bags in. I'm not sure about the taller bags, but it will at least fit the sock pyramid bags and maybe the squishy bags, and that way we can have some things that are off the table, because at the Knitting Tree LA, I get like this oval table, and then I can probably fit one of my racks in there without completely obscuring anything she has in her shop. So, you know, I want to be respectful of her setup and just like keep my area as compact as possible. So I'm hoping that rack will work instead of the crates, because the crates just kind of take up a lot of room. They add a lot of height, but I'm not really able to use them that much. And we have new baskets that we can try out as well. And then I need some table space for all of the stitch markers. And in fact, I forgot. I have to go through all the stitch markers and make sure I have what I need for that as well. So still doing a lot of prep here. And other than that, just enjoying the beautiful weather here in Southern California. It's been really nice and warm. Back to tank tops and flip-flops and going to the beach more often. So that's kind of my mid-New Year's resolution, is to get out and do some more walking, go back to water aerobics, which I have not been back to yet, but now that it's warmer, get back to water aerobics, and also walking on the beach, which we really enjoy doing. So if making sweater bags sounds fun to you, go ahead and grab yourselves a water or a cool beverage, curl up, and let's start sewing. Okay, so we have our rack that I'm going to try assembling. Looks like it's pretty easy. I only bought one of these just to make sure it's going to work. Ideally, I would have two of them. I also don't know if two of them will fit across the table, but, oh, that's heavy. Well, that's pretty. It's a nice, pretty wood tone. Okay, so that's pretty good. We've got at least 4 or 5 of the project bags. I wish I could fit more sock bags in there. I also have the baskets, so I could just put something with the baskets there. Let's try that. The thing I found at the last craft fair is that if you have to go too far in, you know, then you might not come and grab the basket and look through it, you know what I mean? So it's better to have the baskets like out front like this. So it's about 26.5 inches long. I've got a 6-foot table, is the folding table, but the Knitting Tree LA has the oval table, and I don't know that 2 of these are gonna fit on there. Might be better off with just one. I like it's nice and solid. I like the finish of the wood. There's nothing that's gonna snag on my bags, which the crates is a different matter. I would really have to sand those down, and they take up a lot of room, whereas this can collapse. So I think for anything that I'm gonna be using my 6-inch table, this is gonna be a great solution. I do also have the crates if I have a second table, or I could get 2 of these. So these are about $50, so it's quite a chunk of change. But I think, you know, if I'm gonna have these on the table and it's gonna be a better display, I think that looks a lot nicer. And it's great that it can fit this size bag as well. So I do have the hanging racks, so we can definitely hang this kind of stuff on the hanging racks. Maybe just put more of the squishy bags here. I think that'll be good. I think that's a good alternative to the crates, especially because, you know, if I put the little things in the crates, it's a lot of wasted space, whereas this is like just the right amount. It's not too deep, and it gives like a really nice height to the table, which I wouldn't have with the crates. So I think this will work for us. Okay, so we are back with the sweater size. So basically what I did was took Erica Arndt's squishy project bag, which we made earlier, and I made a larger version and then a sweater size version. So this is what we're doing with that, except we have long handles. So I think I'm just going to use the glitter vinyl for the bottom, the exterior bottom, because this glitter vinyl I bought is a lot smaller than the one I had before. So I don't even know that we're going to get a bottom. I do have 2 of them. So I believe we'll be able to get the bottom, which is 19 by 8.5. So definitely take both pieces. We're not going to do the handles out of this. It's just going to be too much to do the handles out of this. So I like to do the sweater size one with 3 fabrics, just because you have more play that way. Pretty much using up all of the lining fabric if you only had the 2 fabrics. So this way we can get the interior pocket. We don't have to use the exterior fabric for both pieces of the interior pocket. Normally I'd have to do that if we didn't have a 3rd fabric. So since the bottom is the vinyl, we don't have to cut as many pieces. So we are going to cut the handles, the lining, and the 1 piece of the pocket, and I think that's it. Probably do like the zipper tabs and stuff as well. Okay, so this is directional fabric, so we are going to, I'm definitely going to be able to get 19 inches this way. So we're just going to cut this at 11, but I'm going to add that 1/2 inch on just so we can even it out later since it's folded over. So we got 11.5. So see how much of this we're going to have left? We still have to cut out 1 of the pocket pieces, but we're going to have a lot of that fabric left. So I should have bought more of the lining fabric. Okay, so that's all we need for this bag. And I'll continue on with the other fabrics as we go. And we will come back after we have cut everything out. I'm matching too because I have this and then I'm wearing that lavender top. I'm very matching this fabric today. Okay, off to the beach before the sun sets. We are back in action. So we're gonna get started on the zipper. I went with what's left of my rainbow purple. I bought silver purple, so this is the last of the rainbow purple. And I did one of these circle pulls, and then we've got our handles. So I haven't used the machine in a while now because we were on vacation. So fire this bad boy up and get rolling. Because these sweater bags are so big and you're really gonna see the pocket on the inside, I'm gonna go ahead and put the pretty fabric on the outside. So we're not gonna worry about doing that overlap like we did on the last 2 bags. We're just gonna have the pretty fabric on the outside. So another thing I'm having trouble with is my ironing board cover. Ever since I washed it, it just sucks. It's not staying in place, so I think I'm gonna have to order another ironing board cover, because yesterday when I was attaching all the interfacing, it wasn't sticking, and I had to put my other ironing board on top, which then made it too high, and my arm was kind of up way too high all day. So I think we're gonna have to come up with another solution for that. Well, you guessed it, I'm gonna have to spray baste this one as well. I was hoping that since it's the glitter vinyl I used previously, like before the new glitter vinyl, that it would iron on. And I don't know what happened between when I originally used the glitter vinyl years ago to now, but it is not wanting to stick. So we will just do it this way. I remembered what I was gonna say, which is these seem like they're more work because they're really big pieces and they're unwieldy and they're kind of like take up a lot of room, but it really comes together just as fast as any of the other bags. It's just that they're super big pieces. Okay, so we're gonna sew this together like a pouch. So we're gonna put our zipper in, we're gonna put our handles in, sew handles on before zipper. So good thing I said that to myself. So we will sew the handles on and then go on there. So we're gonna make them 3 inches from center. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up this top edge while we're at it, just because it makes it much easier to sew if it's all nice and even. That's going to be a mess to clean up. I've been doing pretty good about cutting the fusible fleece on the other cutting mat. I didn't think about it for the SF101, but I did think about it for the fusible fleece. So I'm going to find our center point. And like I always say, I put the folded sewn side towards the inside. That way I know that it's not twisted. And then we're just going to tack these down. So you just want to make sure your handle is not twisted at all. Tack these down, and then we're just going to sew in our zipper like we normally do with the 1/4 of an inch. Whew, that was a workout. Okay, I'm just going to cut off the excess here before we birth this baby. And then since I forgot to cut it before I box the corner, I'm just going to kind of angle it down here. Sticking up. Okay, so that's our first zipper bag. My sister asked me why we all go like this in videos, and I don't know. Probably because we saw other people do it. It's so pretty with the black cats. I really like that fabric. That'll be nice to hopefully do another one. I couldn't find, this was the fabric I was supposed to be looking for at Joann's. maybe I'll go back one more time, see if I can get this fabric. Just because I know there's going to be probably other cat fabrics that I could use this with. Okay, so we're going to close up the hole in the lining, and then we've got 3 more to do. So I wanted to share my progress with you on my apple cider shawl with my Advent minis. I guess this is what I get for not actually doing the fade in the order that she had them in. I laid them all out and they looked good. These all look the same. So it's like this is like jarringly different, and then boom, these all look the same. So I don't know whether I should tear this apart, look at the Vlogmas videos and find out exactly what order they were in, or just keep going. I have them all labeled with my stitch markers, the alphabet stitch markers, and so making good progress on this. I pretty much started this back up again when I got to a stopping point on my Granny Hexie blanket, Granny Hexie sweater. So this is where we're at with this. I don't know what to do. I already felt like a lot of these colors were this color, and I was trying to split up all of these kind of peachy, sandy colors, but now it looks like I've put them all together. Okay, so I just did some investigating, and I found on the Scan and Stitch Instagram, she's got all of the colors in order. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay all these out because I'm not liking the way this is looking. Okay, I'm going to redo this whole thing and start over. I'm not that far into it that I feel like I'm ruining anything. I'd rather have it be a better color transition than this. Okay, I will come back to you once we restart this. Wish me luck. Okay friends, that is it for this week. We managed to get all 4 sweater bags done. So, woo, that is a relief for me. That means all the big projects are done, which means if something happened tomorrow, I could show up to this show and have enough stuff to sell. We obviously still want to do some other stuff, some smaller things to sell as well, but all the big things are done, which is a load off my mind. So let's take a look at our finished bags. First we have the magical mushrooms with the green. I really love this fabric. I love all the fabric, of course. We've got our moths. So we've got a darker fabric here, and then this fabric is the lining fabric. So that's pretty. We're also going to use those 2 fabrics, the darker fabric and the handle fabric, for another bag, for another sweater bag. So I made sure to get enough for both. And then we've got our 2 magical ones, which makes me think maybe I shouldn't have made any of these bags if I had known we were doing the fall show. I could have saved these for the fall, but oh well. We've got our magical witchy cats and the glitter vinyl, so that's fun. And then the inside, the lining, are these paw prints. I have to go back and see if I can find more of this paw print fabric because I got a ton of the other fabric. And then we have our Harry Potter. So this is like a stained glass of different scenes in the movie. And we just used that polka dot print for the bottom and the interior. So those are all fun, and yeah, the crochet projects. So I've gotten both sides of my Granny Hexie sweater done, and now I have to do the part where I add to the sides and the bottom. only she wants me to do a decrease, and I'm not sure. I can't really visualize how this thing comes together. So I'm gonna watch a few tutorials. This pattern's totally different from all the tutorials, but I just gotta find one that goes back and forth, and maybe I'll follow that instead of worrying about the pattern. But other than that, that's coming along. We also have our crafternoon at work, so I have somebody who is more proficient at crochet patterns than I am. So I think I'll have her take a look at that and help me. That would be a big help if she could kind of translate that for me. And I was working on my Advent shawl, and as you will probably have seen by now, I wound up tearing it apart and going back to her Instagram and seeing the final color layout and trying to follow that as closely as I could, because I didn't like the layout. I had gone rogue and I didn't like the layout I had come up with. You live and you learn. I had only done like 3 colors by then, so it was like now or never. If we're gonna redo this thing, let's do it now. So thank you for joining me this week. I hope you are all hanging in there, doing good, and next week we're gonna try something different. We're gonna try those DPN sock saver things. So stick around for that, and I will see you next Saturday. Love you, friends. Bye.